The Bradley Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering is it's a big, complex, high-impact department. At Virginia Tech, we have one of the largest undergraduate programs, the largest graduate program, one of the largest research programs by just about any measure that you can choose. So being department head requires kind of balancing all those activities, balancing that complexity with resources that are available, finding resources internally from within Virginia Tech, external to Virginia Tech, and really investing those in the areas that are going to be important for the department in the future to improve both sort of the quality of what we do, as well as allow us to kind of scale up in certain areas with quantity, whether it's the number of students or the sort of research program size. But really, the most important thing that any department head does is hiring new faculty and tenuring faculty. And of course, it's not just a department head's decision, but the department head plays a key role really in both of those decisions that affect individual faculty. It's really important to look at those for the long-term health and growth and quality of the department, right? To try to bring in the best possible faculty that are going to be successful here, that are that are going to be successful themselves, but also contribute to the growing success of the department. And then really deciding, which faculty are you really going to invest in for the long term, and that are going to be really a core of the faculty for the long term. And then going along with that, of course, is making sure those new faculty have every opportunity to be successful, and making sure that faculty that are maybe already tenured can contribute to their full potential. So it's kind of managing the resources and the complexity, but most important is the people, and getting the right people in, keeping the right people. It's not something that I really thought about as a PhD student, or even thought about as an assistant or associate professor. There was a point during, while I was, I made full professor, was successful in a lot of things, had always tried to contribute to the department, and with in sort of my area and other parts of the department, and so I'd I'd gotten certainly exposure to working at the department level with things like promotion and tenure committee. I think I came to a point which some people come to and some people don't, where I wanted to do more than just sort of my own research program. And I think for some people that becomes starting a center, starting a larger research group, and really, contributing to, having a research program that's not you, but other faculty as well. And for some people, it's sort of the path that I took, which is becoming a department head, or, some other administrative kind of role, management role. I spent 3 years at the National Science Foundation as a program director, and even before I went to that, I was sort of thinking about, one of the things that would be good for is to help me prepare to be a department head or in some other role beyond just being a sort of faculty member, individual contributor. And it just so happened that when, I sort of finished up 3 years as a program director, the department head position at Virginia Tech had just been announced was being open, and Jim Thorpe had announced that he was stepping down, and so I applied and was fortunate enough to be successful. Back to hiring new faculty and helping them be successful. When a faculty, a new assistant professor, a relatively new assistant professor, got their first big grant, maybe an NSF career award or something of that type. That was really very sort of gratifying for me as a department head, and very gratifying, I think, important to the department as well. And so sort of seeing their success in the department when that happened. And it didn't always happen with every faculty member, but a lot of times it did. And so it was, that was, each of those times was a favorite moment, was seeing new centers being created or centers kind of make a transition, take a next step. And so a couple of examples. So the Hume Center for National Security and Technology was started in ECE while I was department head, and there were a lot of people involved in getting that started. There was a nice gift that came to support student involvements in sort of national security area, but the department had to make some decisions and some investments as well to support that center, and we did that, and it became very successful and evolved into today the National Security Institute, which is one of the more successful research institutes at the university level now at Virginia Tech. And so that's when I see the National Security Institute being successful, I know that that goes back to when I was department head, when Jeff Reed was the founding sort of director of the Hume Center, and Charles Clancy was our first sort of regular director that was very successful in that role. So that's like a favorite sort of thing that happened. A center that was very established when I came in was CPES, the Center for Power Electronic Systems. I think it was during my first year as department head. They graduated from the National Science Foundation Engineering Research Center program. NSF ERC program provides sort of a significant amount of funding every year to these centers, but it's time limited, and CPES had received all the funding that they were able to receive from the NSF ERC program, and just to make it to the end of that period and quote unquote graduate was a sign of their success. But it's a big transition. You definitely see ERCs that either go away, just don't exist anymore, or they shrink significantly. And certainly things dipped inside of CPES just for a little bit, but the department continued to support it, continued to invest in new faculty members. And, today CPES is really bigger and stronger than it was when it was an engineering research center. So that's, I think that's something that ECE as a whole can be very proud of.